There's a specific kind of torture that only you understand. Someone reaches for you with warmth, with softness, with the exact kind of love you've been starving for your entire life. And what do? You pull back. You go cold. You create distance where there should be closeness. You sabotage the very thing you're desperate for. And the worst part, you can't even explain why. You watch yourself do it, like you're trapped behind glass, screaming at your own actions but unable to stop them. They text you. You leave them on red. They open up. You shut down. They move closer. You build walls. And somewhere deep inside, a voice is whispering, "What are you doing? This is what you wanted." But another voice, older, louder, more familiar, is screaming something else entirely. Run. Before they see you, before they leave you, before you become too much and they realize you were never enough. This is the psychology of pushing away the people you want most. And if you've ever done this, if you've ever destroyed something beautiful with your own hands while your heart was breaking, you need to understand what's really happening. Because this isn't cruelty. This isn't coldness. This is survival. A survival pattern so deeply embedded in your nervous system that it fires automatically, even when the danger is long gone. Let's go back to the beginning, to the moment this pattern was born. You're young, maybe 5, maybe 8, maybe 12, and you need something fundamental: comfort, safety, reassurance. So you reach for it. You go to the person who's supposed to provide it. And what happens? Maybe they're not there. Maybe they're angry. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they look at you like you're a burden. And in that moment, something breaks inside you. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, like a crack in glass that spreads slowly over years. You learn something devastating. Needing people is dangerous. Wanting closeness leads to rejection. Vulnerability is a trap, so you adapt. You become the child who doesn't ask for anything, the teenager who handles everything alone, the adult who says, "I'm fine," even when you're drowning. And it works, sort of. You survive. You make it through. But here's what nobody tells you. What saves you as a child destroys you as an adult. Because now, when someone loves you, your brain interprets it as a threat. Not because they're dangerous, but because intimacy is dangerous. Closeness means exposure, and exposure means they'll finally see what you've spent your whole life hiding. That underneath all your strength, all your independence, all your carefully constructed armor, you're still that child who was told their needs were too much. Psychologists call this an avoidant attachment style, but that clinical term doesn't capture the full horror of it, because it's not just about avoiding people. It's about wanting them desperately while simultaneously pushing them away. It's about lying awake at night, aching for connection, then sabotaging it the moment it arrives. It's about being terrified of two things at once: being alone and being known. And here's where it gets cruel. The better someone treats you, the harder you push, because your nervous system was wired in an environment where love was conditional, inconsistent, or absent. So when someone shows up with unconditional presence, your brain doesn't recognize it as safety. It recognizes it as an anomaly, something that can't be trusted, something that will inevitably be taken away. So you leave first. You create the abandonment before it can happen to you. You become the villain in your own story to avoid being the victim again. And in doing so, you fulfill your deepest fear. You end up alone. But at least this time, you had control over it. This is the trap. You're not pushing people away because you don't care. You're pushing them away because you care too much. Because the thought of losing them is so unbearable that you'd rather lose them on your terms. You'd rather be the one who walks away than the one who gets left behind, again. But let's talk about what this actually looks like, because it's rarely obvious. It's not always dramatic exits or explosive fights. Sometimes it's subtle, quietly devastating. You stop responding with the same energy. You create emotional distance while staying physically present. You pick fights over small things to avoid talking about the real thing. The fact that you're terrified. That their love feels like standing on the edge of a cliff. That every time they say, "I love you," You overthink, wondering how long until they leave too. You might become hyper-independent, refusing help even when you desperately need it, because asking for support means admitting you need them, and needing them means giving them the power to hurt you. So you stay self-sufficient, isolated, safe in your loneliness, drowning in your independence, or maybe you sabotage in different ways. You cheat, you lie, you do something unforgivable, not because you wanted to, but because some part of you needed to prove what you've always believed, that you don't deserve good things, that you're too broken for real love, that it was only a matter of time before they figured it out anyway. So you speed up the process. You become the reason it ends, because at least that narrative you can control. Here's what most people don't understand. When you're stuck in this pattern, you're not living in the present, you're living in the past. Every new person who gets close to you is haunted by the ghosts of everyone who hurt you before. They're paying for crimes they didn't commit, punished for wounds they didn't cause, and they can love you perfectly, show up consistently, prove their loyalty again and again. But it doesn't matter, because you're not seeing them. You're seeing everyone who left, everyone who said they'd stay and didn't, everyone who made you believe that love was something you had to earn and could lose at any moment. This is trauma's cruelest trick. It makes you recreate the very pain you're trying to avoid. You push people away to protect yourself from abandonment, but in doing so, you guarantee it. You become your own prophecy, your own abandoner, and the guilt, God, the guilt is suffocating, because you know what you're doing. You can see the hurt in their eyes. You can feel them trying to reach you, and you want to let them in. You want to say, I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. Please don't give up on me. So what do you do? How do you break a pattern that's been protecting you since childhood? It starts with awareness, with recognizing that the voice telling you to push people away isn't wisdom, it's fear. It's the frightened child inside you still trying to protect you from a danger that no longer exists. And that child deserves compassion. They did what they had to do to survive. But you're not in that environment anymore. The person reaching for you now is not the person who hurt you then. The healing begins when you start separating past from present. When you can look at someone who's showing up for you and ask yourself, am I responding to who they actually are? Or am I responding to who I'm afraid they'll become? That distinction changes everything. Next, you have to learn to sit with discomfort, because intimacy will always feel uncomfortable at first, not because it's wrong, but because it's unfamiliar. Your nervous system has to recalibrate. It has to learn that closeness doesn't always lead to pain, that needing someone doesn't make you weak, that being vulnerable isn't the same as being destroyed. And this is the hardest part. You have to communicate. You have to let people see your fear instead of just your walls. You have to say, I want to let you in, but I'm terrified. I'm sorry if I pull away. I'm not rejecting you. I'm just scared. That honesty, that raw admission of fear, is the bridge between isolation and connection. Because when you hide your fear, people only see your coldness. But when you share it, they see your humanity. And slowly, painfully, you start to rewire. You let someone in a little bit. You don't run when they show you kindness. You practice staying when every instinct tells you to leave. You learn that discomfort isn't the same as danger, that vulnerability isn't the same as weakness, that needing someone doesn't mean you'll be destroyed by them. But here's the truth. You might still mess up. You might still push sometimes. You might still feel that old panic rising in your chest when someone gets too close. And that's okay. Healing isn't linear. It's messy. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Because the alternative is spending your life at arm's length from everything you actually want, watching connection from behind glass, safe, yes, but also alone. And there comes a point where the pain of staying closed becomes greater than the fear of opening up. You deserve to be loved. Not in spite of your fear, but with it. You deserve someone who sees you pulling away and doesn't take it personally, who understands that your walls aren't rejection, they're protection, and slowly, gently helps you take them down. Because you're not broken, you're just scared. And that's human, that's survivable, that's healable. The people you push away, they're not your enemy, they're your mirror. showing you exactly what you're afraid to believe you deserve. And one day, maybe, you'll stop running, you'll let someone stay, you'll let yourself be held, and you'll realize that the thing you've been running from your whole life is the only thing that could ever set you free. And this time, you'll stay.